from the misty, cool, foggy climes of Dharamshala, the World Cup caravan moves down south to the baking hot sun of Chennai. This game at the Chepauk between Pakistan and Afghanistan, everything's chilled out in this Cricbuzz live studio. We've got the super chill Zaheer Khan and the uber cool Joy Bhattacharjya in the house. Lots of stories, lots of insights coming your way. But Pakistan, Afghanistan, not the biggest rivalry in cricket, but one that's sort of simmering under the surface and is becoming a brand in itself. Two interesting teams, isn't it? And they've had very contrasting journeys as well here in the World Cup.
Well, yes, I think, for Afghanistan, they still have to make that impact. Yeah. But Pakistan is that way very well established team at the international level. So you would look at this game and say that, okay, Pakistan can't afford to lose this game. Yeah. But Afghanistan is wanting to make that statement of we are ready. We've already created one upset in this tournament and we can beat any team. So that's the journey they're on. So yeah, more pressure on Pakistan for sure playing this game as the situation also in the campaign is a little tricky. So they would feel the pressure and would want to bring out their A game today to beat Afghanistan.
Yes, Pakistan lost to Australia at the Chinnaswamy in Bengaluru, high-scoring game that Afghanistan, meanwhile, have been in Chennai for a while. They lost their last game to New Zealand. Their decision at the toss created quite a stir. Joy has a very strong opinion on that. But, well, you know, in the corporate world, they say, Joy, manic Monday. It could be a manic Monday on the points table as well. We'll try and show you what that points table looks like at this stage because if Afghanistan win, figure where they could go. They are at one win, bottom of the table. Joy, tell us more.
No, I think if they have this one win, they'll need to have a really big win they go straight into sixth place rather. And of course, if there's enough of a run rate difference, they might even dethrone Pakistan at that fifth spot. But that depends. For that, they will need to have a really, really big win. Otherwise, they'll probably, if they just win, they'll probably end up nestled right next to Pakistan, whose run rate will be pushed down a bit, of course. Yeah, it's a big jump. From 10th to 6th is a big jump, just taking 2 points. So it's a big one. And see, if you see the Pakistan, Afghanistan, you know, their vibe, okay? Pakistan has always looked as Afghanistan as a younger brother. Lots of, Afghans have played for Pakistan in the past when, Afghanistan didn't have a national team of that type. Of course, India also had Salim Durrani, who was born in Kabul. But normally they've said, "Arey, tu chota bhai hai, you PSL khelta hai, you're there." Suddenly they have grown up. They've got a very good T20 team. And now they're starting to show a bit of a, ODI team as well. And they've run them close in the recent past. So that's why. So they are like, yo, tu kahan se aa gaya yaar? Tu mera chota bhai tha, tu kahan se aa gaya? And I think that is the way Pakistan looks as Afghanistan. And if you look at this tournament, a lot of the top 6 teams are looking at that. Look, when we looked at this tournament, we said there are 4 teams perhaps who won't have much of a chance. Netherlands, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. And the other 6, the question is, you've got to beat these teams and then see who among the top 6, the other 5 teams you've got to beat. That's the key to it. But what has happened is that Afghanistan has made one upset with England. Another upset has happened, of course, Netherlands and South Africa. So that is not exactly working out like that. But Pakistan will say, I cannot afford to drop points against the bottom 4 team.
The toss was crucial. Pakistan have won the toss and they've chosen to bat first. Now that doesn't clearly work to Afghanistan's advantage. But this chota bhai, Afghanistan, has run Pakistan close. While head-to-head is in favour of Pakistan, 7-0 to Pakistan against Afghanistan. But recent memory tells us that Afghanistan have often come very, very close to beating Pakistan. All those results, take a look at that. 1 wicket, 5 in the T20 World Cup as well. So Afghanistan sort of starting to punch above their weight and slowly getting there, isn't it?
And that's the reason they're going to feel this venue is an ideal venue for them. You've seen in Chennai how spinners can have the impact on the game. And Afghanistan, they've got quality spinners. They've beaten England also with their spin trio. So that's the thing going for them. These results are for sure going to give them that boost in confidence, saying that we've been very close. It's just that the last step we've not been able to take. So this is the game for them. And the setup, the scenario is ideal because Pakistan is feeling the pressure in this tournament. When a team is feeling pressure, it's always, it's just about getting them in that zone and they might crumble. So that's what Afghanistan will be hoping from this game. They're bowling first, dry conditions. They will be. They don't have to be concerned about the dew factor. So that's another thing going for them. So Pakistan winning the toss and batting first. We'll have to wait and see how their tactics are going to be. If the dew comes, it might get tricky for them.
Yes, well, the weather report suggests it's 34 degrees right now in Chennai. Feels like 38. And the Met Department reckons dew may not really play a role in this match. What about the changes in the Pakistan lineup? All of us thought they'll try and bring in an extra spinner. Yes, Shadab has come in. However, Joy, he's come in for Mohammad Nawaz, who is unwell today. That's what is being reported.
So you're playing with two right arm leg spinners.
Yeah.
So you're saying your finger spinner is not there, and I think this must be a forced change because I cannot see them not playing Mohammad Nawaz in these conditions. I mean, this is the kind of condition where a good finger spinner. This is the one pitch where you can play three spinners if you had an opportunity. So I definitely feel this is a forced change for them, and I think it's an opportunity for Shadab Khan also to make his way back. Very interesting. You're reading some of the reports, and of course, Pakistan is the one thing is that their shows and all are without filter. So they say it as it is because they're not scared of the board because they know the board will change tomorrow. So nobody is worried about it. So they say what they want to. And Rashid Latif said something which I wanted to really understand because he said that, the problem with this Pakistani team is that they are playing like a European. Like Mickey Arthur's running the team. So he's thinking like a European. जो चालाक होता है ना, the smartness, the chalti, this thing of Pakistan is not there. They're not playing smart cricket. They're not playing chalak cricket. And that's something I just wanted to ask you on, Mane. Does it make a difference that, you have a coach who's very structured, but, he's missing out on the nuances?
Well, it depends, right? So it depends on the coach, how he looks at things. But that influence is definitely going to be there, what he's talking about. Sometimes you kind of looking at things, if the coach is looking at creating that kind of culture, which you've seen, like, you've seen certain things happening with Pakistan cricket, which are not exactly reflecting of how Pakistan usually used to approach. One of the things is announcing the playing 11 day before. That's something which we've not seen in the past, which we saw in the Asia Cup. Now they've again gone away.
They used to announce captains on the day.
So I think it can be that one factor. Coach's job is to balance it out. It's about bringing out the best and addressing the factors which he thinks are detrimental to the team. So maybe Mickey Arthur is not able to find that right balance. He's expecting the shift to go completely on the other side.
There's this great story that Wasim used to tell us. When Bob Bulmer was the coach and Inzi was there. And one day he's trying to talk to Inzi. And then Inzi was sulking because something Bob has said. He used to call him Bob. So Bob said something which he was not happy about. So he was sitting in the corner and he was saying that he was not talking. So, Bulmer spoke to him and this thing, tried to speak to him, tried to engage him. And he was not engaging. So after a while he goes to Wasim and says, what's wrong with him? Why is he not talking to me? So he says, wo root gaya. So India mein root jana means, you're upset with someone. So Bob Bulmer said, what is this root jana? He wanted to understand what it was. So when Wasim explained, Bulmer said, but he's not my wife or girlfriend. Why is he upset? So no, it is a cultural thing. It is a cultural thing that you realize that, sometimes, players from the subcontinent, they need to be treated, or even if you do it the normal way, you need to understand how they think. And perhaps, but look, I feel Mickey Arthur has spent enough time in Pakistan. I'm sure he does understand the way they think.
Yeah, well, and therefore, Gary Kirsten with that 2011 World Cup team is a fascinating story of how an outsider, a South African, was able to gel with a lot of Indian superstars and script a famous, glorious chapter in India's history. Afghanistan will be bowling first. And what's that one change they've made? They've brought in a spinner. Noor Ahmed comes in for Fazal Haq Farooqi. Not a forced change, Zach. Tactical move. What do you make of it?
No, this is a very interesting move. We've been talking about how Afghanistan team can bring Noor Ahmed in the playing 11. The message is very clear right now. Fazal Haq Farooqi have been in a patchy form. Have not been consistently doing well. Not creating that impact with the new ball. Here they have 40 overs of spin bowling now. Wow. And they're just basically saying, okay, this is our best chance. If the wicket is going to suit little bit to the spinners, you have 40 overs of spin to deal with. and you have Mujibur Rahman who can bowl with the new ball. So balance-wise, they know that they can make a play. With the new ball, it's not easy for a spinner to bowl, but you have Mujib who consistently and regularly does
Bowls
that
the
job
death
for
as well.
and he bowls at the death as well. Naveen Haq is the only guy who also uses quite a lot of his variations and look to use the pitch to his advantage. So if there is assistance for the spin, is going to be an interesting one for sure because then Pakistan team will have to really bring their A game against the spin bowling attack, and now it's not a trio here. You have 4 coming at you.
Wow, great variety as well, Joy.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, again, I look at it purely from a tactical point of view.
Yeah.
I've played against you, I've lost 7 times. Okay. Now, you're a stronger team. Overall, perhaps you have to say Pakistan is a stronger team than Afghanistan is. The batting certainly is stronger. Maybe Afghanistan's spin department is better, but Pakistan has overall better players. So, if I'm the weaker team, I have lost 7 times to you, I have to try and do something different.
Yeah.
Because if I do the same things, I've lost to you 7 times.
Yeah.
So I love it. They've sort of tossed the coin and they've thrown a curve ball at them. And how it turns out, we don't know. It may not work out. But if it does work out, it will catch Pakistan by surprise. And playing 40 overs of spin is a different thing altogether. So I think it's a brave move, and it's a move that you do when you know that, look, under normal circumstances, they'll probably beat us 8 times out of 10.
Yeah. Is it one of those moments where a team has said, listen, let's just go for it? And as they say, dekhi jayegi in our part of the world. Are they saying that? Is it a desperate move? What do you read into Afghanistan's psychology behind making this move?
It's not a desperate move. I don't think it's a desperate move. It's exactly like how Joyda was saying. It's about trying a different thing, knowing that they've been just one step away. Consistently, they've been putting this team under pressure. And how can you put them under pressure further? What is your best chance? So I think they're just backing that. They're creating a scenario. And again, I'm saying it's because of the venue. I think the venue, they know over the years, the spin bowling numbers here are just outstanding. Spinners have been making that impact on the game. So they're giving themselves the best chance of creating that impact with the ball. Bowling first is only going to suit them right now because now you don't have to worry about other conditions which may come into play. It's just about the dry conditions, heat and humidity there in Chennai. Just deal with that, get assistance and put Pakistan under pressure.
And Pakistan have been under the pump slightly. I mean, imagine a month and a half ago, Pakistan were the world's #1 ODI side. Everything was going well for them. They had Naseem Shah in the lineup as well. Babar Azam, before that phase started, was among the runs. But suddenly, things seem to have gone downhill for Babar Azam. And Joy, it seems like Pakistan's fortunes are sort of run in parallel with Babar Azam's form. It hasn't helped their cause at all.
No, absolutely. I mean, you look at it, and the thing about it is also very interestingly, he's getting starts. He's getting starts. He's getting out in 10, 15, 12, 18. It's not that he's not scoring runs, which is even scary because Babar normally when he gets going, every batsman is vulnerable in the first 7, 8, 10 balls because, it's a dangerous situation to be in. You're just getting hold of conditions. You get a really good ball in that period, you could get out. But once a batsman of his quality is settling in, and it's very interesting, of those numbers you see, in the middle, there were 2 matches which was the matches which were played, warm-up matches played. He got a 90 and an 80, which meant the moment the pressure was off him, he was getting runs. And that for me tells me that, yes, he is under a certain amount of pressure. And I think that is definitely there. It's at the back of his mind, the burden of both carrying a team and carrying his own personal form. It's not easy at the best of times. Lots of good top players have walked away from it. I feel there's a lot of pressure on him.
Taskin, Hardik and Siraj have been very successful against Babar. I think 3 or 4 dismissals have been bowled. Does that tell you anything about, is it technique or is it about the mind not being there? Is it the off stump that a lot of experts talk about? What's going wrong with Babar?
I think it's mental more than anything to do with technique and stuff like that. I completely agree with Joyda that it's about dealing with pressure. There are too many factors playing, and you often see, you talk about good players when they are in the zone. They just somehow manage to forget everything, and everything is taken care after that, is what the pattern usually seen. With Babar, he's not able to get to that. And the reason he's not able to get to that is not anything about the technique. You've seen the game against India. He was batting at 50. It's just about, it's about getting to that one milestone. 50 is a milestone for a batter. And then after that, losing your wicket shows that it's not about the technique or anything. It's just about the approach maybe. There's the burden, is the pressure getting to you, or that flow which you have of building an innings is somewhere missing and is getting affected by external factors, which is not helping his batting.
A lot of Pakistani opinion makers, as always, tend to tread on extremes. Intikhab Alam apparently wrote a piece and said he should give up captaincy. What's your assessment of Babar Azam's captaincy? Is captaincy more about projection? In our part of the world, our captains judged on what they project. You have to look aggressive to be aggressive. Is he a victim of his external persona?
Again, so difficult to answer that question straight, because with that persona, he's been very successful for a very long time.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not as if Pakistan hasn't been successful. They've been a top one-day side for a very, very long time. They've been a top T20 side for a very long time. So these last year and a half, 2 years, he's led them very successfully. Sometimes what happens is when you're out of form and it's at the wrong time, and see again, there the pressure, the sort of spotlight on cricket in Pakistan is obviously the maximum during a World Cup time, because this is the time that it really peaks. And remember, in that sense, Pakistan has far, in India there's Chandrayaan happening, the Asian Games happening, lot more happening also. And I feel, therefore, the pressure on Pakistani cricketers is I feel Pakistan and Bangladesh cricketers have more pressure than any other country in the world, in terms of their fans, in terms of the effect at home. And I think between that and his form, and what has happened to him is, he's always had a good attack to give him something. And because his attack is faltering, he just, after that, the pressure of scoring has become increased much, much more.
Yep.
Because remember, Pakistan won a lot of matches with Babar batting at 75, 80, 85 strike rate because their bowlers were giving it to them.
In the Asia Cup, we were talking about the top three doing the job.
Yeah.
So he wasn't alone. I mean, there were others doing the job.
Fakhar Zaman was getting runs for them as well. Inamul Haq, Fakhar Zaman were getting a lot of runs. They were exactly India in 2019. Where your Rohit, Virat and Shikhar Dhawan were giving you all the runs. Yep. So I think that is the problem. These two have stopped scoring. The bowlers have stopped taking wickets. They've hit just 15 sixes in the tournament.
And they've conceded 46s. That's the story.
Out of which they've in one single match, Australia hit more sixes against them than they've scored in the entire tournament. That tells you a story.
Zach, you've worked with a lot of different captains. Is a captain as good as the resources he has? Because Pakistan have lost Naseem Shah. Fakhar Zaman has been out of form. Clearly their bowling group sort of changed as well with the absence of Naseem Shah. That seems to have affected the others as well. So is it unfair to judge Babar? Because there are a lot of things around him as well that have gone wrong.
You look at the team and the question which you're asking is actually a right question. And when you're looking at the resources which is there at his disposal, they're all good players. It's just about finding a way. It's just about motivating them. And what I've always been saying, if captain is not in form, it actually rubs off on the team. There has been some out of form players in that. Fakhar was one of them who they persisted with for a while. Eventually, when they made that change, it worked for them.
Yeah.
So Abdullah Shafiq has been superb for them.
Yeah.
All those things were actually going for them. Naseem Shah was one bowler who got injured just before the tournament. Yeah. But other than that, we've been talking about their pace battery as one of the best right now going in the tournament. His injury, okay, a slight dent in your approach, a doubt must have been created. But on the whole, if you look at it, you still have good players to win you games of cricket. If you're talking about a team like Sri Lanka, who is hampered with injuries so much, you understand. You say, okay, fine, the captain is doing a good job. Now they've lost their captain also, but injuries have not helped their cause, and that squad is not looking exactly how it's looking. But that's not the case with Pakistan. So where it's coming from is the pressure which is building. A tournament like World Cup is a huge tournament, so everyone needs to be up for it. There are doubts which have been created, and the way their campaign is going, when you score, when you're not able to chase down a total which you are in kind of decent control with chasing, that spark is required, which is not there right now for Pakistan. So they're looking for that, and that's why I'm saying today's game, This is the team getting in the game under pressure. So that is something which they have to deal with. They need to turn things around. You've seen it with Australia, that one game. You look at the points table also, that one game is going to change things for you completely, for any team. You need to do that, and for that Babar needs to lead the way, because he's that one cog right now in that batting lineup. You're seeing tremendously under pressure and don't have runs to back it, the kind of player he is.
Yes, a win today and a lot of the creases will get ironed out. Now Babar Azam has to contend with Rashid Khan. Numbers do tell a story. 8 times in white ball cricket, Rashid Khan has dismissed Babar Azam twice in ODIs and 6 in T20 internationals. Clearly, I mean, Babar Azam is not the only big batter that Rashid is troubled, but here's a challenge for Babar. Right?
I absolutely. I think it's a challenge for Babar, and what is going to happen is unless they lose wickets very fast, Babar is likely to face a lot of Rashid Khan in the middle overs. And I think that's going to be one of the crucial battles, how well Babar Azam plays them. Because see, Babar's thing is that he's not a strike rate of in ODIs, he's not a strike rate of 120, 130. He's a strike rate close to 100. He sets a platform. And then players like Ifti and all will take advantage and really hit the big hits towards the end. That's their template.
Yep.
The problem is, essentially, I'll tell you, their basic problem is there are many types of captain. Like Imran Khan didn't need to score runs or take wickets to be a captain. He's a captain because he is what he is. I mean, I remember this great story again, which Wasim Akram used to say, that when they used to go to Australia on tour and they used to play matches in the daytime, Channel 9 used to show the highlights at night. So one player used to be told to sort of distract Imran not to see the highlights, because suddenly he'll see the highlights, see someone making a fielding mistake and call him and shout at him immediately. So that's what you are. You're a persona. Now Babar Azam is a person who allows his bat to do the talking. So therefore, when you are a person who's dependent on, I'm not going to say very much, I'm going to allow my form, I'm going to allow my game to lead the way, then when your game is not good, it's a much more of an issue. And I think that's the thing, that even here, with Rashid Khan, it's also talismanic. If you look at this Pakistan team, the Afghan team, Rashid may not be the captain, but he is the central figure of that team. Yeah. So these are the two central figures. So it's not just this clash is not just about numbers. This clash is about whose will prevail in this match.
Well, it's a clash of titans in this matchup, Babar versus Rashid. We've spoken about how Rohit Sharma has overcome that perceived issue against left-arm pacer Zach. How does Babar deal with this Rashid Khan problem? Does he say, listen, my team needs to win, let's not go after Rashid, or does he say, I'm going to attack Rashid and make a statement here?
See, like I was talking about Babar earlier also, it's just about getting into that zone. And once you are in that zone, your feet are moving, you're not thinking, you're just watching the ball and reacting. Yeah. I think that's not the case right now with Babar. His mind is overclouded with so many things that at times the concentration phase which you talk about, or every batter has that process. Like, you'll take the stance, you'll look at the thing, look at the bowler, you'll watch the release, and then you're just about clearing your mind every time you face the delivery and repeating that over and over. And that's the zone which we talk about. And as you get into your innings, things start to flow. So if Babar doesn't get to that zone, it's going to be very hard for him. And it's not going to be just Rashid who is going to trouble him. It can be anyone. Because the issue right now is something else with him. Rashid's numbers right now, the way they are looking against Babar, is only going to give Rashid the confidence of getting into that battle, not Babar.
Not all is wrong about Pakistan. The one happy glimmer of hope has been young Abdullah Shafiq replace Fakhar Zaman in that opening spot. Now he's someone who's shown that he has a hunger for the world stage. 100 already in the World Cup. Takes the pressure off Babar Azam to some extent.
Takes the pressure of Babar Azam. The interesting thing is he's actually for me a very similar. Now their problem is all their 3 top order batsmen are similar. They're smooth batsmen. They're not big hitters. They're all placers and people just think Iman ul Haq plays the same way. Fakhar was a different kind of player. Now you have 3 players who are very similar. Yeah. But the quality that he's giving them up front, I mean, because he's scored a ton of runs in domestic cricket. And I think he's just carrying that form forward. And if you look at that, I mean, that is something that's very important for them, because today is a day where spin will test them. And the fact that he has a very good strike rate against spin, He's not really got out to spin. The 2023 World Cup tells you a story. So I think this is important for them. He's not been dismissed to spin in this tournament so far. So I think he's a vital because see, Mujib is going to get the ball up front.
Yeah.
So they're going to start off from there. So how well Pakistan plays spin is going to determine this match for us.
Yeah, they could just look back at that scorecard against Australia. It was a controlled, solid, patient start. More of that?
See, for any team, it's about winning those moments. You look at Indian team also right now. Suddenly you look at the first game which they played against Australia. There was a moment which they had to win after those loss of 3 wickets, and they won that. Two batters standing up and doing the job for the team. Even in yesterday's game, if you see, there was a moment for New Zealand to get back into the game when there was KL's dismissal, 1 run out, pressure was on. 2 batters again getting back to the basics, seeing the phase through. And with Pakistan, if you look at it against India, they had a great platform. The way they started it, you would have actually felt that, okay, India is going to have a very tough day. That was that moment which Pakistan lost and India won that moment again. Yeah. So for any team, it's about winning those moments consistently. And if you're winning those moments, the confidence is sky high, and then things happen for you. So Pakistan in this tournament against Australia also, they've lost that moment. They've created that scenario for themselves where from here, if things happen for you, you go and you cross the line, you fall on the right side of the result. So for them, even today, it's about playing 100 overs of good cricket and winning those moments. It's not going to be... What happens when you are having a patchy form as a team, you get into a scenario which looks comfortable, and then you suddenly switch off. You just take your guards down, and then you are on the slippery slope. You need to avoid that, and as a team, you need to have those kind of chats of saying, okay, you can't relax. You have to go all the way through. Will Pakistan be able to do that and turn things around for them in this campaign? Today's game is going to be very important with that regard.
Yep.
And I have one more thought. It is that very important for Pakistan is, this is supposed to be the slowest pitch in the tournament so far. What is a good chaseable target? So this pitch is, from whatever we hear from people who've been talking about it, this is not a 300, 320, 330 pitch.
Yep.
So if it is, this is a pitch where 250 is enough. So Pakistan, the first 2 batsmen, it is very vital that they understand what the conditions are and say, if we get 250, 260, it's a very winnable score in this. And whatever it is, Afghanistan's batting, other than Cricbuzz, has not been their strong point.
Yeah.
So if I get that much, I am okay actually in the tournament. So I think it is very vital that first 7, 10, 12 overs, what is this pitch going to give me? It may be a 320 pitch, we don't know. But we'll find out, and how fast they judge, it will depend on that.
Yes, I totally agree with what our experts have said. Remember, Afghanistan don't like chasing. It was very evident against New Zealand. That game, Afghanistan were not comfortable chasing. And what Zaheer has said, it's about seizing the moment. Maybe Mickey Arthur needs to Google the Urdu version of the words Carpe Diem.
Carpe Diem.
And they need to seize the day, seize the moment, and bring that Pakistan campaign, World Cup campaign, back on track. Do you guys want to talk about fielding lapses now, or do we keep it for the mid-show? Because that's a big story, guys. I'm sure you guys...
I don't know. We don't have enough time.
We don't have enough time. So I promise you, when we come back at the end of the first innings, we will talk about the fielding lapses that these two teams have been guilty of. Joy factor, sir.
Okay, here goes. Okay, straightforward. Among current cricketers, who's the only batter to have scored over 2,000 runs in his first 20 test matches? That's quite a record, That means you're averaging at least 100 runs in your every match.
Shubman's not played 20 test matches, has he?
I'm not saying anything. Why should I tell you?
Any idea, sir? Any idea?
It's not Shubman, I think.
It's not Shubman. This should be easy to crack. I think Google should help you guys. Well, there are a lot of people in that Joy Janta Party who have been very, very good, very quick to respond. So please tweet to Cricbuzz, tweet to Mr. Bhattacharya, and we'll announce the winner and the correct answer at the end of our broadcast later tonight. We're done for the day. Oh, not done for the day. Done for now, gentlemen.
Predictions.
Predictions, sir. वो तो हमारा रिवाज है. Pakistan batting first.
Chennai, I think 240.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to 25.
Oh, serious low bowling happening here. Okay, let's just hit 251. ठीक है, maybe
You like this? Your 251 ये शगुन शुरू हो गया ना?
Shagun, I like Shagun, sir.
सब 1 रुपया सब सब्जेक्ट.
I like Shagun. 251 and a lot of low scores being predicted because of the pitch that there is. We're done with Cricbuzz Live for now. We'll see you on Cricbuzz Combox after 15 overs. Bye for now.